je joue beaucoup de musique dans la vie de tous les jours. Et j'ai plein de façons différentes de faire de la musique. Mais il se trouve que le projet qui m'a fait voyager le plus jusqu'à maintenant, ça a été de faire de la musique avec toutes sortes de bruits, des objets, des enregistrements, de la radio. Et donc voilà. Mais c'est vrai que même si les gens me connaissent un petit peu pour ça, et ben je fais de la musique comme tout le monde chez moi, de façon électronique, avec mon ordinateur et ma guitare et ma voix et voilà. Et c'est vrai que quand j'ai commencé à faire de la musique avec des objets, alors tous mes amis et les gens autour de moi ont dit vas-y refais-le, viens le faire ça dans une soirée, etc. Et du coup c'est ça qui a été le plus remarquable. Et aujourd'hui j'ai tellement fait ça que maintenant je fais quasiment plus que ça. Et surtout, pour ne pas m'ennuyer, j'ai décidé de jouer tout le temps quelque chose de différent. Parce qu'avant, je faisais tout le temps les mêmes chansons. Mais en fait, on s'en fout quoi. Du coup, je fais tout le temps un petit bruit d'oiseau. Je fais tout le temps des sets improvisés avec des chansons qui sont différentes. Par exemple, la dernière fois au Chill Out, j'ai joué des chansons inédites. Et ce soir, je vais aussi jouer des chansons inédites. Et des fois, c'est bien, des fois, c'est moins bien. Ça dépend. Donc, c'est surtout ça qui fait la particularité de ma musique aujourd'hui. C'est le fait d'improviser et de ne pas vraiment avoir de différence entre studio et concert. And so, this is the way I do now. It's just like, I go on the stage, like tonight. And then I'm like, okay, what could I do? I'm like, and so I take my guitar and the temp, and then I was like, so I do with the synths, and then I take a brush and I get and then I can record stuff, and then take a ping pong ball and go like this. So it's really just a mix of stuff, you know. Last time, maybe I have it here. The Chill Out set. Yeah, Chill Out Festival. So I record everything. And maybe the video you showed me was during right after. I record everything, so I can always listen to it. And then at the end of the concert, there was a cool moment. It was like, and then it goes like ta 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 ta. Yeah, so I have lots of concerts on my phone, and I record it every time, and then maybe I will do an album, or I don't know, a mixtape. I remember that at the beginning it wasn't me, it was just an angel, you know. I wanted an angel, you know. It seems like sometimes I have a way of looking at the things that are around me, like this thing, or like a chair or any object, and sometimes it's, I don't know, it's like everything is suggesting something, you know. So when I see like a tea, it's like the tea is proposing. It says like, why don't you drink a tea? Why don't you drink me? You know. And the camera is like, can I shoot you? And then the fridge is like, okay, do you want to put something inside me? You know. And so everything has its soul. And the TV is like, do you want to see this? You want to see? And so it's like everybody and everything is just showing itself, you know. It's like, hey man, just like capturing attention of me and to lead me to something, you know. And so the posture of just entering into a frame and just showing something else, for me, it was quite cool. It was the opposite of what everything does, you know. And at the same time, the act of shooting something and putting it on a video is already the act of showing something. So if I get into the frame and just showing what I already show, because it's a video and I already show what I show, then what I see, what I do is just showing myself, you know. So there was an opposition between the fact that the video is already showing something and the fact that I enter to show it again. So it finally doesn't make sense, you know. So that's why I think that it's mind fucking, you know, because people are like, okay, but why are you showing this, you know? And I don't know. And also when I was shooting this video, I was in India and there was a place in Auroville. It's a city in India where there is lots of people going together to do a free living, and there is this central building that's called Matri Mandir. You can see it in the movie, in the video clip. It's a big golden ball, and when you go inside of it, there is people that leads you to the visit, and they don't talk because nobody's talking, and they're just like go there and they're just showing the way. So it was crazy because yes. So it was crazy because it was 2 times. Ouais. Vas-y, ferme, c'est cool. So it was crazy because I was already shooting this video, and then this thing happened. So I was, okay, maybe I'm on the right way, you know. And yeah, that's it.
Je suis passé dans le futur. J'avais trop envie d'y repasser. Je me suis fait plein de contacts. Là-bas les gens ont plein de projets. Et moi je n'existais plus. Mais c'est pas important. J'ai entendu ta voix dans la radio.
Since the first day, since the joke, you know, when it was the first day, it was a joke. And then the second day I was like, okay, why not to keep it, you know? And then the third day, and then I was like, okay, and then people laughing, and I'm like, wow. And then going in the metro, I was like afraid of going in the street because people were like shooting pictures of me, and then I was like, oh. And then I was thinking about my own reaction, and I was like, why would I care about what people think, and why would it be a problem if they are if they laugh at me? It's okay, you know, I don't care. So then it began to be a way of working on myself, on my self-confidence, you know. So then and then after I realized that some people were feel more ashamed than me, you know. I arrive in a room and they are ashamed for me because they they want to laugh or they want to talk about it, they don't know how to react, and then they feel shame, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy, like, because they think that I'm ashamed, you know, or I don't know, some weird vortex thing. And so it makes people, you know, take fake selfies of themselves with me in the background, you know, to show them that their friends, you know, people react in different ways. And then 1 year and a half after I started wearing this haircut, then I released my first EP. And then everybody were like, who's this new guy with this strange haircut? And I was like, okay, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. And then it became a communication tool, you know. So everybody's like, hey, you know, that guy with the haircut and stuff. And then after I was talking like, yeah, it's because, you know, I don't care what people think about me. And then people are like, yeah, but if you really don't care, then you wouldn't need to wear this kind of haircut. And I was like, yeah, you're right, but I don't care. And so it's different layers of not caring, and so it's funny. Maybe one day I'll write a book about it. I don't know, it's the same kind of feeling. I see all those bands, and it seems like they always like saying their names, and as Pokemon can only say their own names, and they are always telling the same story, like, yeah, you know, we found our bass player at the high school, and then we started, you know, we went into a forest to compose our second album, and so it's always the same thing, so that's why. And also it seems like the songs are like attacks, you know, like they go on stage, and then there's other bands on the other stage, and they are like attacking with different songs, and people that are capturing themselves into Pokeballs are the bookers, you know, the bookers and the promoters. And finally, it's a war of different bookers that have different Pokemons that themselves have different attacks, and they do festivals like, okay, now I use like this Pokemon, and he will use this attack and goes against your own Pokemon, and this is how the business goes, you know. It's just a vision like this. It's a funny vision. It's half true, you know. It's just a vision.
Là, c'est la nouvelle coiffure. Donc je me suis dit, si je veux travailler ma confiance en moi, et bien, ce que je vais faire, c'est que je vais faire l'inverse. Voilà. Donc je vais vous laisser voir ça. Voilà. Ça fait un peu comme une sorte de calvitie. Voilà. Donc c'est la coiffure que personne ne souhaite en fait. Donc je vais décider.
I've always, I think I've been inspired by a lot of people I could see on the internet, or people I met, or friends of mine who influence me, and I deeply believe that people can influence themselves, and I also deeply believe that people can really be free. Like, for example, if I choose to move my finger, then my finger moves. And so whatever I choose, then it will happen, you know. So I think it's the same thing for everybody. So everybody has, even if everybody has different cultures, everybody has this power of choosing. And so what I did with those talks is just trying to find the right sentences and the right thing to say, maybe to give opportunity to people to realize that they can just choose how their life can go and then be cool, you know. And so this is something I like to do because it's like I'm giving it something back, you know, like somebody give it to me and then I give it back, and it's just like just channeling. So I think it's really important, and I don't think that the talks I made are different than the music I do or the interviews I do, or it's just one big thing. It's just like traveling through space-time, and then just like, okay, what can I do for me to be cool and people to get cool, and that's it, you know. So this is what I did, and I'm doing sometimes other talks when it can make sense in the context that makes sense. Then I do talk. So in France I've been talking a lot, and now I stopped talking because I had nothing more to say, and that's why I don't do interviews anymore if it's not if it's for French media. I don't do. I stopped, and so yeah. But the TED thing is cool. I watched a lot of TEDs before, and I was happy to do a TED talk. But maybe I will not do it again.